Right, where are we? Where's my notes? There they are, right. More doom and gloom. But I'm going to turn it into a positive. You know why I'm going to turn it into a positive? Because it's Thursday. And you all know out there, I love my Thursdays. You know why? It's beer day. Haha. Right, let's get another one done here. Once again, back for another episode of the Moore Army podcast. What a beautiful day it is here in beautiful sunny Northern Ireland. I'm sitting here this morning, microphone switched on, look out the window ahead of me here, and I see a beautiful sunshine. I was actually out in it not that long ago. Actually, I was out there about an hour or so ago in it. I actually went out this morning in shorts. First time I wore shorts, and well, wore shorts around the house, but the first time I actually wore shorts outside properly, and fuck, I don't know how long. I was out this morning getting a few bits and bobs from our local Lidl store, or Lidl as some people call it. I call it the German shop. Thanks to my mother, she calls it the German shop, because it is from Germany, of course. But yeah, I was out this morning, sun was shining. Ran into an old wrestling buddy this morning too as well in the shop, which was great to see. Ran into another friend of mine's mum at the same time. So today has been a very good start to the day for me. As I said to you, the sun's out. It's Thursday. And you know me, guys. I love my Thursdays. It's beer o'clock for Matthew on Thursdays. So I want to get this one in the can. I got uploads from YouTube to put up as well today. I got 2 videos going up today on YouTube, which is great. So plenty of content for the Moore Army today. So happy days. Anyway, hello. How you all doing out there? I'm doing actually alright today. I'm a little bit tired today, but once I get a few more coffees into me throughout the day and do my usual Thursdays activities, I shall be grand. But I hope you're doing well out there, and you haven't checked out last Tuesday's podcast, go back and check it out for free on the relevant platforms that we are available on right now, whether you're listening to us on Spotify, Apple Music, YouTube. By the way, don't forget to hit subscribe below, and also TuneIn Radio. Add us to your favourites, stream us, download us all for free. Everything on this podcast is completely free. So you guys want to go check out last Tuesday's episode. It was a great episode. We got some really good emails from some really good listeners. We got more emails we want to answer today on the podcast too as well. I had a really good one there last week. I've had a few people actually contact me about it. I had a female school teacher here from Northern Ireland contact me this past Tuesday, and it's sort of hit home with a few parents. I've had a lot of parents contact me over the last 48 hours since last Tuesday's episode of the podcast, where they were saying, I had an email from a teacher saying about the way young ones nowadays are so disrespectful, and it's been the outpour's been great. I've had quite a few actually emails about it, so it's great to hear from all you parents out there. But I got more emails coming up here, and obviously in social media messages later on in the program. Plus, the return this week of the Jackass of the Week, which a lot of you out there will probably know who it is, but it's the Jackass of the Week this week, which returns for the first time in, I think it's 3 weeks now. Yeah, 3 weeks. So all that and more on today's episode of the Moore Army podcast. But anyway, yes, as I said, yeah, the sun is shining. I feel good today. As I said, a little bit tired. Not that a couple of cups of coffee will sort that out. My plans for tonight, guys, is to pretty much get this podcast recorded, spend the day, no work today, so I'm just spending the day sort of pottering about the house, getting things sorted out. I'm going to have a few beers tonight, maybe a few sambucas, which I'm getting the taste for now these days. I actually had a couple of cocktails two cocktails last Sunday night. Just mix myself up a wee cocktail. I don't normally drink on a Sunday, but I thought, something, screw it. Mix a wee cocktail up there, and it was actually quite nice. So it was. But tonight is my day, guys, where I have my me time. So I'll be chilling with that tonight. But what have I been up to since the last time I spoke to you before I get into some subjects on the podcast today? Because I got some really good ones to talk about today. Some sad news in the podcast today as well. We've had an icon pass away. yesterday, which was so sad. We'll talk about that later on in the episode, but I'll talk to you about what's been up to the last couple of days. I've got two vlogs going up on the channel today. One was from yesterday, where I took myself to Belfast yesterday with my wonderful daughter. All drama, of course. We went to Belfast for the day for a daddy-daughter shopping trip. By the way, I just want to say before we go any further, thank you to everybody who's been sending me messages on social media. Instagram, I posted a photograph of Brooks at a wedding the other day with her boyfriend. All the women who contacted me about Brooks' dress, thank you about that. I actually showed her the messages yesterday and she was overwhelmed with all the messages, so thank you for that. A lot of people were saying she looked beautiful, so thank you very much for that. It actually brightened up her day because she was having a pretty shitty morning yesterday, so those wee comments brightened up her day, so thank you very much for that, guys. I appreciate it, especially you ladies out there who've been giving her nice compliments. I even posted it on my own personal Facebook, and a lot of people were sort of shocked. I mean, it's just growing up too bloody quick, you know. But we're out shopping. Yesterday it was a good fun day. Went out for a bit of lunch. Had a great day. So funny. Apart from being dragged around fucking Primark for over an hour, or Primark as some people call it. It was just a really fun day. We laughed and had fun, and we actually made a TikTok, guys. So yes. I know I normally do the housekeeping at the start of the podcast, but I'm going to do now. I'm sort of all over the place here this morning because I've been out and about, and my adrenaline's starting to go. And I actually made a fucking TikTok video yesterday. Brooke and I made a TikTok video yesterday, which you can follow me on TikTok now, by the way, guys, at official Matthew Moore on TikTok. I know I haven't been on it for ages, and I kept saying it on the podcast a few weeks ago, or maybe a few months ago, that I wouldn't go on it. But she convinced me to do it, and I've set my TikTok up in a way where any fucking numpties try to come in and beach rolls, whatever, they can be kicked to the curb. So, yeah, we've done a funny TikTok. Go and check it out, guys. It's on there now. I think I posted it on my Instagram too as well. Just convinced me to do these bloody TikTok videos. But it was fun. We had a great day in Belfast. We went out and did a bit of shopping. We had lunch. We had a good time. We had a good laugh. We even brought Lewis a gift back because Lewis couldn't be there. Lewis was at school. Brooks off this week with obviously study leave and stuff for their A-levels and whatnot, which is doing very, very well in. So we brought Lewis a surprise home, which you'll see in the vlog coming out later on today. But no, it was a good day. It was a very, very good day in Belfast. We had a good fun. Ran into a couple of viewers as well. A couple of young lads we ran into as well in Belfast. They come up and ask for selfies and stuff, so not a problem. It was great meeting a few people yesterday. So yes, I posted a video on TikTok, official Matthew Moore. And I forgot to keep saying these, like I always do at the start of the bloody podcast. If you want to contact me on social media, you can. Official Matthew Moore on pretty much everything apart from Facebook, which is Moore Army YouTube channel. So on Instagram and that there, and email, which is moorearmypodcast@yahoo.com. So, oh yes, before I continue on, I'm sort of jumbled all over the fucking place here today. A lot of you have been saying to me, where's this summer merch you promised us last week, Matthew? I'm trying to get it out by tomorrow. Tomorrow or the weekend. It was supposed to be out this week, but getting the time due to work and everything else, I'm trying to get the time to get it out. So the samples have been sent across. I've approved it. It's ready to go. So it will be out before the end of the weekend because we've got a very busy few days coming up today. I may even try and get onto my laptop tonight and get access to the website tonight and get it all put out tonight even, or even tomorrow. It's there. It's ready to rock and roll. So the summer merch is coming. So stay tuned to moorearmy.co.uk. It's coming. I'll put a press release out in social media too as well whenever it's available, because some of you are asking for t-shirts and stuff for your holidays and whatnot. So plus I want to get a couple in too as well for the holiday when we all go away, because we got extra people coming on holiday with us this year. We've got myself, we've got Brooke, Lewis of course, then we got Brooke's boyfriend coming along this year, and we got Brooke's friend Grace coming too as well. So we've got quite a few people coming on holiday this year with us, so it's going to be a fun-filled holiday this summer. Stay tuned for those. We're going to have so much fun this summer. I can't wait. But anyway, yes, going back to what I said to you there, I made a TikTok. I don't know why the fuck I made a TikTok, but I did. But Brooke, it's available there. Official Matthew Moore on TikTok. You want to go and Follow me on TikTok. I'm going to start posting more videos because Brick's convinced me to post more videos because apparently it'll draw more attention to the YouTube channel. She says even put clips up of the channel of the vlogs and stuff. She says, Daddy, it'll draw more attention to your channel. Maybe it will. I don't know. But that's pretty much what we've been up to the last few days. So now I've got all that BS out of the way. What have I got to talk about today? I got some stuff I want to talk about. I mean, I want to start off with some sad news, guys. Yesterday, unfortunately, we heard the news that rock icon, would you say she's the female rock icon, or sorry, female icon of rock music, Tina Turner, unfortunately passed away at the age of 83. Which is so shocked. I mean, I was just literally in the door from Belfast and went upstairs for a bit. I bought a new lamp from my room and I was plugging it in, and the news had just broke. She died at the age of 83. She was apparently battling a long-term illness there recently, which is really sad. You know, another icon's passed away, which is really, really sad. She had a very lengthy illness. Now, her spokesperson did bring out a statement, which I'll read a couple extracts, should we say, from. It says, Tina Turner, the Queen of Rock and Roll, has died peacefully today at the age of 83 after a long-term illness in her home near Zurich, Switzerland. The American-born singer, who was later naturalised as Swiss, was one of the most well-recognised female rock singers in the world and in history. Tina was well known for her on-stage presence, which is... everybody knew who Tina Turner was. She released a number of hit singles, including Simply the Best and What's Love Got to Do With It. Turner was also behind the voice of the James Bond movie. God, I remember that movie. And that was 1995. Holy crap, I was 14. Goldeneye. Her real name was, she was born as Anna Mae Bullock. She suffered from several medical conditions during her later years. She was diagnosed with intestinal cancer. I've got that right. And I heard about that. It was to do with her. Apparently, it was to do with her. There's in the statement. It says she was undergoing a kidney transplant operation after she was diagnosed with cancer back in 2016. But the operation was in 2017. There'll be a private funeral held for her in the coming days. She won 8 competitive Grammy Awards throughout her 66-year career. Holy shit. You know, and she also has, I know about this, I obviously knew about this personally, but she also has star both on the Hollywood Walk of Fame and the St. Louis Walk of Fame as well. Another icon has gone. She actually retired from performing back in 2009 after completing her 50th year anniversary. Guys, everybody knows Tina Turner, especially that movie that she brought out years ago about her personal life and stuff. You know, everybody knows her story about her ex-husband, who was a very violent individual who was very abusive towards her, and she went through a very, 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 very bad marriage. He's now passed on to as well. But everybody knows who Tina Turner is. Tina Turner is a rock and roll icon, and unfortunately the news has broke that she has passed away at the age of 83. But that's another icon gone from our golden generation. You know, there's so many ones that have passed away recently. Now, on to some other news about someone else who passed away. A lot of people, well, not a lot of people, a few have been asking me over the last couple of days since this news broke on Tuesday. I think it broke just after I recorded the podcast. Another person from back in the day whenever I was a kid, who was a well-known entertainer, children's television person, should we say. He was on multiple TV shows for children. One that I used to watch when I was younger, the Cartoon Club that used to be on ITV here in the UK. But then in later years, he was convicted of being a kiddie fiddler. He was a pervert. He was a paedophile behind the scenes. Very good friend of that other scumbag who's no longer with us as well, thank God, Jimmy Savile. I don't even know why I'm talking about it on the fucking podcast today, but again, people have been asking me what's my thoughts on it. Rolf Harris. Rolf Harris has passed away. I think he was 93 or 92 or something like that when he passed away. And to be quite honest with you, I couldn't give a fiddler's fuck. when I was a kid growing up, they used to have a program on called Rolf's Cartoon Club, where he used to sit and draw pictures, and and he was a very good artist. He could draw, which was one of his talents that he had, apart from fucking chasing small children, a dirty ass fucker, like. But I don't want to talk about it too much on the podcast, guys. I don't want to sort of dim a more negative onto the podcast, but he passed away the other day, and people have been asking me questions, did you watch him growing up as a kid? What was your views on him? And I'll be honest with you, I did watch some of his stuff back in the day, when I was a kid growing up, and then when I heard that he was doing stuff that he shouldn't have been doing, he was convicted he was a pervert, basically a convicted paedophile, along the lines of the likes of the Jimmy Saviles and stuff like that, and the Gary Glitters and whatnot. Then I thought to myself, what a sick bastard. And a lot of people have been saying like, oh, but you got to remember the things that he did do. I don't give a shit what he done. The bottom line is he was doing stuff inappropriately with young children, and he shouldn't have been doing it. And as far as I'm concerned, he should have been left in jail to fucking rot in hell. And I could talk about convicted paedophiles and all here. I've even had run-ins personally over the years with paedophiles, where in certain jobs that I've worked in, paedophiles have come into the places I might have worked in and whatever else, and we've asked them to leave because they've been convicted people. It's a long fucking whole big story, but I'm not going to get into it. But people like that should not be in society, in my opinion, and people have asked me the last couple of days what's my thoughts on it, and to be quite honest with you, I couldn't give a shit, and as far as I'm concerned, he can burn in fucking hell for all I care, because he's a dirty old man, and what he done to those innocent children, I hope he suffered. And I know it's a horrible thing to fucking say, and no doubt I'm going to get horrible comments for this, but I don't give a shit. See, if you're convicted and you're caught and you're convicted as a paedophile, in my opinion, paedophiles should not be on this planet. It's disgusting, it's vile, it's a horrible thing, and no, people like that should be just disposed of. But yes, he passed away the other day, and to be quite honest with you, I couldn't give a shit. Moving on. Let's get into some of the things that are going on around in the world today. Just as I was about to put on the podcast today, what I normally do is, guys, on a Tuesday and a Thursday, well, in the night before, record the podcast and normally make a few wee notes of what I've seen going on in the world, or the news or whatever, and sort of go, should I talk about this? I'll do a bit of research on this and that, whatever. Take about an hour or two every night before I come on to the podcast. Or if I'm on the podcast in the morning, I would normally sit down with a bit of paper and write down a few notes and whatnot. So, but just, I've obviously flicked around multiple like newspaper websites and news and things like that there. I don't go anywhere near the fucking BBC or any of them numpties, because they're just so hard to deal with at times. But I was just flicking through some this morning, and I just saw this morning, these fucking window lickers are out again. These oil protesters. I saw it in the news 2 days ago. Remember us talking about it? Was it last week in the podcast, where this guy got out of his work van, went over and started chucking these fucking loony bins off the road because they were blocking the road, because these guys were trying to get to work to earn an honest day's living. Well, it was confirmed that the guy who actually got out and done that has now been charged with as a common assault and all this shit. And the police officers are arresting this guy for getting these people out of the way, which they are actually breaking the fucking law by standing in the middle of the fucking road where the police are doing nothing with anyway. But as soon as that guy gets out and moves him, he gets done and charged for it. By the loony bins who are standing on the fucking road, who should be dragged away by the police in the first place, are nothing being done to them, which is bullshit. But I saw this morning, they're out again at the Chelsea Flower Show exhibition with orange paint. People have been I don't want to get into this again, because these people are just absolute fucking loony bins. They've ruined the Chelsea Flower Show exhibition with oil paint. They actually walk right up into the middle. I saw the video of it on a news website this morning. The way they walk straight up to all the people who've spent hours and weeks getting this show together, and all year round, looking after those flowers and everything else for those displays and stuff. And these fucking loony bins are just walking in going, yep, oil, orange paint everywhere, blah, blah, blah. And what's going to happen to them? Nothing. I talk about these fuckers every week, and they're at it again. Now, I'm not a big gardener. I'm not a big gardening fan. Now, I enjoy doing my garden. I love cutting grass. I think it's very therapeutic. It de-stresses me. Even doing a bit of weeding in the garden doesn't bother me, because I love doing it, because I think, once you get it all done, it's nice to look at. You think, I done that, and it's de-stressing and whatever else. But there's a lot of people out there who are very passionate about their garden. Of course, my dad, for example, my dad loves his back garden. My dad's really in his retirement now, where he's out the back, and he has his wee flower beds, and he cuts his grass, and he does all his weeding, and he does his wee flower. Mum's got a wee butterfly garden underneath one of her trees, where she's all these wee different plants and stuff like that there. And some people take a lot of pride in their garden. And again, with this Chelsea flower show again every year, it's been going around for generations. And these fucking Libyans are walking in and throwing paint everywhere. And why? Here we go. I found a website here that I've got a bit of a thing I want to read out here to you. But this is what happened. This is what's actually happened. Just Oil protesters have wreaked havoc on a garden at the Chelsea flower show in their latest protest. Activists threw orange paint over an exhibition at an iconic London event. The Metropolitan Police says 3 people have been arrested and released, by the way, but they were arrested on suspicion of criminal damage and charges, but charges have been dropped and they have been released. Seriously. In a statement from these, I call them just window lickers. I don't know what the hell they are. They're just numpties. Confirmed 3 women have thrown paint over the Dolphin Garden, I think it's called, after stepping over a rope barrier at 9 o'clock this morning. One of the activists says, what does it say? What use is a garden when you can't grow food? What? I live in a small town that has flooded 5 times in the last 8 years. Dirty sewage-filled water poured into homes and classrooms, and the heat came by parachute. Pretty much they're saying, listen to this statement here. I'm reading this now here at the minute, and I'm just going, what use is a garden when you can't grow food? That's what that doesn't make any fucking sense. Oh, these people. And the fact that they've been arrested, and it's now, this has happened like 3 hours ago, 2 hours ago, and they've been let go. But if that was me or you, the listener out there, going out and doing damage like that, what would happen to us? Arrested, charged with criminal damage, brought in front of a judge, made to pay for the damages, hit with a heavy fine, maybe get a week or 2 in jail if you don't pay your fine. But because these boys run around with high-vis vests and are getting GoFundMe pages sent to them by the champagne-sipping fucking lefty fucking numpty heads going, oh yes, go and do that there, that's jolly good there, go and do that there, go super glue yourself to the road and make a point. No. I was watching the news last night for the first time in a long time. This guy turned on one of the news channels and said, these people should be dragged, literally dragged and told, get a job, or your money that you're getting from your benefits and whatever else, because most of these people are on fucking benefits and don't work, and they're just lazy bastards. Because I've seen one of them doing interviews on TV stations going, we don't need to work. Our job is to show the world about... No, you get up like everybody else and you go to fucking work and you pay your tax like everybody else. Us taxpayers are paying police officers, etc., to go out and deal with you fucking morons. The government needs to come down. These guys, I'm not going to talk about them no more, because there's no point, because I'm sure you, the listeners, are probably getting sick and tired of hearing about them. But today, they're out again in force, reckoning the Chelsea Garden Show, which is just another event they've done. They tried to do it at the Marathon, they've done it at the World Snooker Championships, they've done it all these different big events to try and get attention. They're just attention seekers. So they are, that's all they are, just attention seekers. And in my opinion, they all should be locked up and taught a lesson, because to be honest with you, they're morons and they need to get put in their place. On to other news. The big report has come out this morning about all the lovely illegals and migrants in the UK. Sorry to sound a bit more down today, guys, but this is what's going on in the world right now, and I just literally want to talk about it. So, I do get some emails from people asking, questions about this problem, about what I think about it, about all these illegals coming in the country. I've talked about it before, but it's been announced today that the migrants soared at highest level on record, over 600,000 have entered the country, which is a very, very, very high number. It's estimated over 606,000 have entered the country, despite promises from the minister and the government that it would dramatically fall, which is nonsense. I've talked about it before. I've said my opinion on it before, guys, but the figures were announced today. And you all know my view on it. If you're coming into this country to work hard and be everything else and provide towards the economy and the government, and you want to work hard and provide for your family and set up a home and be a law-abiding legal citizen, that's cool. But when you bring these country illegally off these boats and get everything handed to you and live in nice hotels and get 3 meals a day and get everything paid for you and expect the world to owe you debts to society and don't want to work and don't want anything else and want to go out and cause a bit of trouble and wherever it is you're staying, then in my opinion you should be put back on the boat, turned around and sent back to where you came from. I actually got a video sent to me this morning on email. I think it was in Accrington? Yes, Accrington in England, of more people from different country immigrants attacking people from that area, attacking them, like beating up men, beating up women, like physically beating the absolute shit out of this woman. And obviously they were arrested, smacked on the wrist, and released again. But if that was me saying out to my street and beating the shit out of one of my female neighbours, what would happen to me? I'd be arrested, charged with assault, probably get a few months in jail. The girl would get a claim. I saw another one last night. It was brought to my attention last night as well. It was sent to me on Instagram. Piers Morgan, as much as I don't like that guy, he had a young coloured fella on the show, some young lad, and Piers Morgan was asking him, why are you getting on like this? Why are you behaving like this? And in the flip of a switch, he turned it into a race thing. Oh, it's because of the colour of my skin. And Piers Morgan looked at him and says, no, I don't care what colour your skin is. I'm calling you out on your bullshit and behaviour. And the wee fucker was trying to twist it into a racist thing. And I'm looking at that and going, where has our country gone to? And then I see all these figures coming out today about how many illegals are in the country and the government promised to keep them out, and it's a conversation that I would love to hear from you guys about it all more, because I do hear quite a lot about it. It just frustrates me sometimes when I see all this, because the government promises you chicken salad, but really what they're going to give you is chicken shit. Same in our government over here. I've talked about multiple times about Stormont and stuff, load of shit. But again, it's just the way it is. Anybody out there who is heading towards pension age, there's a problem with the state pension. I think I maybe have a good few older listeners out there, which I think I've replied to a few people over the last, this podcast been going on now nearly a year, on social media, emails and stuff like that about state pensions and whatnot. Millions of Britons are now receiving the incorrect amount of state pension, according to a former state pension minister, who warns the system is riddled with errors. So apparently they're mixing up people's state pension amounts. So if you have anybody out there, or even a parent or a grandparent, or even yourself, if you're listening now and you have any issues with your state pension, it says here to contact your pension provider or nearest government office, because apparently there's going to be a lot of people not being paid, which is just ridiculous, obviously, because people are struggling to pay their bills enough as it is at the minute, which is just absolutely horrendous. So the royal family's been targeted again. I'm not talking about Meghan and Harry, because I don't want to talk about them two balloon heads, even though it's all over the news again last night about Harry getting deported from America. Whether it's going to happen or not, I don't know. Apparently, King Charles's Sandringham estate has been targeted by, I'm using this word again, activists, and they have actually stole his lambs. Yeah, what the fuck? They're stealing lambs now, but these activists. Oh, what are they going to do? Put an orange vest on it and make it stand in the middle of the fucking road in London and do oil protesting? Look, even Charles's lambs protesting with us. Won't be surprised. They're fucking loony bins anyway. But anyway, yeah. Apparently they've targeted King Charles now. These activists. Oh dear. Anyway, some good news for the podcast today. Energy bills are going to be slashed, with Britain setting to save hundreds of pounds a year. Hip hip hooray, finally some good news when it comes to the cost of living. Household energy bills are to be slashed in July coming, which is great news, as millions of Britons and people from Northern Ireland will see their bills drop by more than £400. There you go. Finally some good news for us. Ofgem are lowering its energy prices cap from the current $3,200 a year to $2,014 for the average household, England, Wales, Scotland, and less for Northern Ireland as well from July 1st. It has been announced. Finally, they're doing something decent for us. Finally, they're bringing us the cost of living down. But we all knew that was going to happen anyway, didn't we? I talked about this for months. But it's been announced in the news late last night that apparently from July 1st, if you live in the UK, which is England, Scotland, Wales, Northern Ireland, apparently your bills are being brought down minimum of £400. Could be more. They're bringing the spend cap down. But then sure, we talked about that weeks ago, didn't we? We talked about like the petrol and diesel, like BP, the people who provide the diesel and petrol, are like, how many billion in profit did they get over this last year or so because of the prices soaring through the roof? It's all a money-making game, guys. You all know that yourself as well as I do. It's a money-making game for all these people. So it is. But there are some good news for you today. That the prices are going to be coming down, which is, as I always say, I will believe it when I see it. So, well. Remember I was talking about this guy last week in the podcast about this guy from Starbucks? Well, it's back in the news again today. The trans Starbucks manager who screamed at the customer claims to be a victim of hate crime. I just, when I read that this morning, I just looked at it and went, listen, you stood there and you screamed at a customer. It was filmed. You were caught on camera. You were aggressive towards the person who you were screaming at. Also, you were aggressive and nasty to the person who you tried to snatch the camera out of their hand. You are a moron, and if you were my employee, your ass would be fired on the spot and you would never step foot in Starbucks again. But this person's now come out and said that apparently they're a victim, so they are, of hate crime. This is a person who waited for 11 days to make a complaint after the person already made a complaint in the first place. They had to wait 11 days instead of making the complaint right away. Tension seeker, if you ask me, honestly. We've got another baby coming into the royal family. Beatrice, who is the daughter of, what do you call her? I can't even remember the bloody name of her mum now. My head's up my backside today. Beatrice, obviously, she's is it Andrew's her dad? And Fergie? Yes, that's the one. Couldn't think there. Her due date soon, so we're going to have another royal in the family, so we are, because she's due. I remember that wee girl was a wee small, tiny wee girl when she was first born. Now she's having babies. I tell you, where's the time go, I tell you. What about our old mate, old bumbling Boris, is apparently getting hammered again from all these media outlets and all about these COVID rules that he broke. I'm not a big fan of Boris Johnson, as you probably know, guys, but apparently he's getting more hate, should we say. They want him to explain more about Partygate, more Partygate allegations at, was it Checkers? I think it was, but yeah, they are they're just trying to nail Boris from every angle possible. No wonder the man's running around with his hair looking like a mess and pulling his hair out. He's so stressed out. God love him. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much what's going on in the world today in the news. Not very much exciting, to be honest with you, apart from that good news about the the prices of the energy prices going down, which is a great bit of news. Thank God. It's just crazy. But yeah, guys, I just wanted to touch on what I was talking about there at the start of the podcast. A lot of you parents have been in contact with me over the last couple of days in relation to that email from that school teacher here in Northern Ireland, which was lovely to hear from her. I haven't heard any more. I did reply to the person's email, but they haven't replied to me again. So, but I want to get into some of your emails now, as I want to take a wee swig here of orange juice. It's actually really, really warm here this morning, guys, in Northern Ireland. I have the windows open, the sun's shining, and I'm sitting here in a room with the window and all open, and I'm still roasting. But I've got a nice big bottle of the Lidl's. I think I talked about this before. This Lidl's orange juice. You should get it, guys. Honestly, it tastes so good. It actually is really, really nice. But £1.20 or something a bottle. It's huge. But anyway, moving into some of your emails, because I know I've got a lot of you emailing me the last couple of days, because I was checking through a few of them last night. We'll see, where are we here? Right, one here first of all from Andrew Ferguson, who sent me a message yesterday, from what I can see by the date. Question. Hi Matthew, it says here, if you and Lewis had to come up with a funny, interesting name for a FIFA 23 Pro Clubs player, what would it be? Can't wait for the episode. And that's from Andrew. I don't play FIFA Pro Clubs. Lewis does, I don't. I play FIFA very rarely now, to be honest. Funny name. Harry Markle. There you go. Harry Markle. Let me think. I don't know. I don't know. Oh, I couldn't tell you. I actually really don't know. But thanks for your email, Andrea. Appreciate it. Let's get into another email here from someone. Let's have a look here and see. One here from Stefan. Stefan sent me an email, God, a week ago. Gee whiz, sorry, Stefan. Hey Matthew, just wanted to ask you a football-related question. Okay. I know you're a big Liverpool fan, but in your opinion, who is the greatest football manager of all time? Thanks for taking your time to read the email. Take care of the podcast. Okay. Greatest football manager of all time? Jesus, man, there's so many. There's so many to pick from. I couldn't pinpoint one. You've all them great managers throughout the year, like the Liverpool legend managers like Shankly and Paisley and Alex Ferguson, which was another one. God, there's that many. Pep Guardiola, you could talk about in that category too as well. He's won multiple things over the years. My God, there's so many good managers out there. I honestly couldn't answer that question. Who is the greatest football manager of all time? Well, let's look at who won the most trophies. There's a lot of ones up there you could put into a lot of different categories. Like boys have went to different leagues and won different things with different clubs and stuff in different countries and stuff. So it's hard to describe who would be my greatest football manager. I'll have to think about that one. I'll get back to you. Thanks for that. Appreciate it. Right here, one here from Sharon. Sharon has wrote to me saying, hey Matthew, can I ask you a quick question for the podcast this week? Who would be on your Mount Rushmore of greatest numpties from 2020? Okay, I'm trying to read this properly. Who would be on your Mount Rushmore from the biggest numpties from 2020 to present? It could be a politician, TV personality, or anybody like that. Who would be on your Mount Rushmore, and you're allowed to pick 4? Okay, it's a bit of a strange one, but I'll answer it. Mount Rushmore of numpties since 2020. Well, definitely Boris Johnson will be up there, one of them. Mr. Stay at home, but don't stay at home. And biggest numpty, Piers Morgan. So who have we got? 2 so far. Boris Johnson, Piers Morgan. Let me think. Biggest numpty. God, that's a tough one. Like Prince Harry is 3, and Let me think. Biggest numpty since 2020. Ooh. Oh, what'd you call your mom? Chris Whitty. Yeah, Chris Whitty. In case you don't know who has, that's that weird dude you used to see standing in front of the TV that looked like an alien every week and used to go, next slide, please. And he didn't even blink. This is the guy who fed us a load of shite, telling us to stay at home for months and months, and didn't blink. Just stood there and looked like an alien. He was a numpty, so I'll put him on there. So there you go. So we've got Boris Johnson, what do you call him? Piers Morgan, Harry, and Mr. Next slide, please, Chris Whitty. There's my 4. Could be 4 different ones, but that's just the 4 can pop into my head right now. But thank you for your question. That's an interesting one, that Mount Rushmore. Who would be your... Here, do you know something? I'm going to make this... for my listeners to listen to this. That's a very good question. Thank you for that. That's actually really... Guys, listen here now. Who is on your Mount Rushmore, your 4 numpties you can pick from 2020 to the present? Send them in to me and I will read them out on Tuesday's podcast. Send them in. Your 4 numpties on your Mount Rushmore from 2020 till now. Who's your 4 numpties? Thanks for that. As much as it's a strange question, it's a strange one, but it's interesting. But yeah, guys, let me know what you think about that. Who is your numpties for that? But anyway, moving on. Let's get on to some of the old social media ones here. My long-time listener, I know right away when he always sends me a message every week, but I obviously try and put other people into it, but I want to read him out again this week. This young lad called Ryan McCauley. God love me, he emails me every week and he Instagrams me and messages me everywhere and just to try and get a shout out, whatever but it looks of things he's a long time listener of the podcast. So Ryan, if you're listening, thank you very much again for your message. I'll read it out for you this week. He says, "Hi Matthew, I have a question for tomorrow's podcast." So he sent this to me last night. "Have you ever been camping before? I went camping last Thursday night for a night as I am on a Duke of Edinburgh Bronze Award, and I find camping very uncomfortable, as it was hard to sleep. Would you ever go camping or been camping before? Kind regards, Ryan." Yes, I have been camping many a time. I've been camping, and do you know something funny enough? Was it last week? My brother came around, Tony, and we were standing at the back garden just having a wee chat and stuff at the back door, and Tony says, I want to go camping, I want to take my daughter camping and stuff, and and his birthday's coming up here at the start of June, and he says about going camping for his birthday, and I just looked at him and went, you want to go fucking camping for your birthday? It's like, what? And he says, yeah, let's go camping. And I'm like, Tony, okay, whatever, man. Camping for me, yes. I've actually camped in so many different weird places. I'll give you a couple of ones there, Ryan. I've camped outside the SSE Arena in Belfast about 20 years ago for tickets for a WWE show. I have camped in fields. Years ago I used to have this awesome tent. Like, I had this tent one time, I think Dad bought me it years ago. This is well over 20 years ago. And this tent was fucking incredible. It was such a great tent. And I used to always put it up in the back garden, and we used to always stay in the back garden in it, and used to bring friends and all around. We used to have sleepovers and all, and it was so much fun. It was such a really good, hard, durable tent compared to some of that shit you see now. You walk into some of these big camping stores and the tents, you could blow on them, or you could fart in them and they fucking blow half a mile down the road. But this was a really old school, high durable tent that was awesome. And I don't know what the hell happened to it, but yeah, I've got some camping memories from back in the day. It isn't comfortable, but nowadays they have all these different things. You can get like different blow up types of beds and all these different things you can get now to make your camping experience, as they call it, all that more enjoyable. God, I sound like a fucking promo for a TV advert, don't I? Oh, your camping experience to make it all more enjoyable. No. Yeah, I've had plenty of camping experiences over the years. So much fun. So many great times over the years. Even my brother used to go out and stay in the tent too as well. And in recent years, Ryan, in a way you've seen the vlogs back on our YouTube channel a couple of years ago. Mum and Dad, I think it was during the first lockdown, bought Brooke and Lewis pop-up tents for the back garden, and I done a vlog of them actually inside it. And Lewis, actually went into it and brought all his wee stuff out to it and built like a wee fucking thing in it so he could put his Nintendo's Switch and all on, so he could play games and all in his wee tent. You want to go back a couple of years in the vlog so you can see it. I think it's called Brooke and Lewis Go Camping in the Back Garden or something it's called. You want to go and watch that there. But, I mean, you say you were away there doing it on your Duke of Edinburgh Award or something you're doing it for. I hope you pass, I hope you get it. You didn't say exactly where you were camping for it, like, but again, it's all about the location and where you are, and obviously, most importantly, the fucking weather. The place I was at 3 weeks ago, you probably saw in the vlog, if you haven't seen it, guys, I was down in Newcastle in County Down. There's the Mourne Mountains up there. Apparently camping up there is incredible. A friend of mine from football takes his son up there all the time, and they camp up there during the summer, and the view up there is incredible. There's rivers and lakes, and there's forest area, and there's just everything. So, yeah, I wouldn't mind going camping again, actually, if it was good weather, of course, but I've had some fun times over the years. So, Rand, thanks for your question. I do appreciate it. It means a lot to me. Right, let's get into one more here from Instagram. This one here is from Jamie. Jamie says, "Hi, Matthew. Just listened to your podcast this morning from this past Tuesday and was interested to hear that email from the school teacher about young people's behaviour. I, as a father of two, aged 12 and 10, would not tolerate that type of nonsense. If I found out for one split second that my children would be disrespecting the authority of the school, disrespecting their elders, disrespecting the school rules and authority, I would be on top of them and have them punished to the highest degree. Children nowadays don't seem to understand what boundaries and rules are, and me personally, I blame the parent. Parents should be more strict and firm with children nowadays, especially when it comes to this generation. Everywhere you look, all you see is children with mobile phones in their hands, tablets, iPads, etc. in their hands, blocking themselves out from reality and the world around them. They always seem to think that everything they see on the internet is true. I felt so sorry for that lady who sent you that email this past Tuesday, and I hope for her sake that she does not quit her job. She sounds like a very loyal, hard-working woman, and who should not tolerate that nonsense from anybody. Children nowadays get away with too much, and in my opinion, good old-fashioned boots to backsides and grounding children and punishing children for their actions should still be allowed in this generation. Thank you for taking your time to listen to my email. Love your podcasts. Jimmy. There you go. That's a bit of an interesting one. Yes, I've talked about it here on this episode already. Yeah, I agree totally. In some cases, I do blame the parents, obviously the upbringing from some children, but again, you could talk about it all day. It's just one of those things, you know, it rubs off from the home life into the school life, and then obviously the hang around with other children who say your child's average, normal, and it's just an average child and everything's great, and then all of a sudden they get in with the wrong crowd and they get influenced and all because these wee shitbags think it's funny to go and do this and do that and all, and they influence our children. It's a whole big plethora of things you could talk about, but again, yes, I agree. I mean, I'm assuming my children, I don't take no nonsense from them if I thought they were being disrespectful in any way, shape or form. TVs, mobile phones, grounded, nothing. Like, even, for example, say it was Lewis, he'd be grounded, no phone, no TV, no PlayStation. Even his football job on a Saturday with me, photography, he wouldn't be doing it. He would be sitting in the stand with me, doing nothing. I wouldn't even give him the opportunity to take photographs or be part of the team, or that day, it'd be gone. Same for Brooke. Obviously, Brooke's nearly 18 now, so when she turns 18, I can't really do very much anymore. But if she was that, like 13, 14 years of age, no TV, no internet, no laptops, no mobile phones, no games, no friends, nothing. Punished severely. And this is the thing that pisses me off as well. The way the young ones get away with it. They got to be smacking the wrist and they're grounded for like a day or two, and that's it. Jesus Christ, in my day, if I had fucking spoke back to a teacher, or the way some speak to kids now and lift their hands to their teachers and all night, after I was picking myself up from the ground and picking my teeth up after the process of getting my ass kicked by the teacher and my parent, then I would have been grounded for 3 or 4 months. And back in my day, there was no mobile phones, there was no internet, there was no smartphones, there was no iPads. You were lucky even to watch TV back in them days. This is where this generation is spoiled. But thanks for your email, Jimmy. I appreciate it. it's good to know, obviously, you know how you feel about this, because today's society, children are getting away, and they're being fed all this fucking bullshit now as well. This crap they're being fed every day about gender changes and LGBTQ. What is it called? The LGBTQ plus 84, 69, 94, whatever the fuck it's called now. All this crap they're being fed now. You know, and it's just, it's mind-boggling. So it is, but again, yeah, it's I hope and pray that girl does not quit her job. I really do. But anyway, thanks for your email, or your Instagram message. Thank you very much for that. Appreciate it. Right, let's get on to another one here. Right, right, one here from Robert. Robert wants to know, hi Matthew, just wanted to ask you a quick question for your podcast this week. Do you have a specific brand of clothing that you like, or a specific brand of sporting gear you prefer over others? No, it's a bit random, but I've noticed that you do like your sporting trainers, you like wearing your football shirts and stuff, as I am a big long time viewer of your videos. Thanks for taking the time to answer my question. Okay. Do I have a specific brand that I prefer? Honestly, not really. You know, I wear all different types. I wear Adidas, Nike trainers, New Balance trainers, Adidas coats. You know, I have a specific favourite. Now, when it comes to football gear and stuff like that, I actually prefer, I like Adidas. Some people prefer Nike, some people prefer New Balance. Give you an example. A couple of years ago, when Liverpool brought out shirts with New Balance on it, they were New Balance shirts. I actually thought they were quite nice. There was them. Then when we were with Adidas a few years before that, I thought they were nice gear too as well. The Nike gear I'm not overly a big fan of. The trainers are okay, but they're a bit expensive. In relation to clothes, I mean, tell you a story. I mean, growing up back in the day, Mum and Dad didn't have very much money for me, but I grew up in the late 80s, early 90s, the whole Levi's era. Remember that there? Everybody had to have Levi's. If you didn't have a pair of Levi's in your jeans, you weren't a cool kid and whatnot. And I was just like, no, I've never actually owned, you want to laugh at this, I've never actually owned a pair of Levi jeans in my life. I just didn't. Mum and Dad couldn't afford them when I was a kid, and then when I finally got up and got older and had money myself, I just didn't appeal to me. Jeans is jeans to me, guys. Clothes is clothes to me. I'm as plain as anything, to be honest. I'm a t-shirt and jeans type of guy. Summertime t-shirt and shorts type of guy. I'm not all this flashy, dicey, have to wear designer label bullshit. Like, there's certain things I would obviously go for the label, but when it comes to like a normal, no. It's not really my cup of tea. But to answer your question, if I had to pick one, it would be Adidas over Nike or whatever else. So, I don't know, but that's just the Adidas gear I like. So it is. So, but thanks for your question. I'll do one more, and then I'll head over to the Facebook. So I will, before I head on to... Sorry if it sounds a bit gloomy and down today, guys. It's just... The news is a bit... all over the show at the minute. Right. One here from... Matthew, funny enough. Hello, Matthew to Matthew. How are you? Matthew, just want to ask you a wee quick question about your podcast. Okay. Can I ask you, what motivates you to do a podcast every single week? I was wanting to do a podcast myself, but I don't know what to talk about. I'm very into my collecting coins and items that are irrelevant, and I was wondering if I could do a podcast on that, or just sit and tell stories and talk like yourself. Any tips on how to get started, what I should use, etc. Keep up the good work. Matthew. Well, you're in your collecting and stuff. You say you're into collecting bits and bobs. Well, then talk about that. If you want to do a podcast, do it. Any tips? Be yourself. Just talk. Just put the mic in front of you and talk and be yourself. Just don't hold back. Don't let anybody tell you any different. Just speak from the mind. If you want to do a podcast on some of the stuff that you collect, a collector's item podcast or something, I'm sure there's someone out there who'll probably listen to it. Be yourself. I keep telling people this all the time. If you want to do a podcast or a video on something, then do it. Don't let anybody hold you back. Just do it. If you have the confidence to sit in front of a microphone or sit in front of a camera, do it. Just go and do it. But again, be yourself. Just be yourself. Talk. If you've got a passion for something, talk about it. Just say what's on your mind. Talk from the heart. It always works. And I always say, I can smell a bullshitter away. I flick through podcasts all the time, try and find new ones and stuff when I'm listening when I'm out walking and whatever. And I always try, and there's been there, don't get me wrong, I'm not the best podcaster in the world, and there's weeks out there where I try to draw the audience in from the start. But there's weeks where it's like for example today, it's all been negative news about fucking oil protesters and all the other shite that's going on in the world and stuff, so... but then I try and twist it and turn it out a wee story, try and draw the audience back in again. Just try and find your wee knack. But if that's what you want to do it. Let me know how you're getting on. If you start one up, let me know what it is and I'll have a listen. But thanks for your message, do appreciate it. Right, I'll do one on Facebook, and then I want to announce the Jackass of the Week this week, which you probably all know who it is anyway, but sure, it's another story for another day. Anyway, moving on. Right, here we go. Facebook. Right, I've got one here from Michael. Michael is from Derbyshire. Hi, Matthew. It's Michael here from Derbyshire in England. Just wanted to drop a wee message here on your Facebook page for the podcast this coming week. Just wanted to say hi and let you know that I love your podcast. Listen to it every week while I am on duty. I am a bus driver, and I absolutely love listening to your podcast. I love the way you don't take any crap. I love it when you call all the bullshit out, especially with the politics and all the politicians. And most importantly, Harry and Meghan. I love it. Just wanted to also say to you as well, anytime you're ever in Derby, you're more than welcome to come to a Derby County Football Club game. I know you've been offered so many times throughout the year in the football season to come along, but I am part of the Derby County Supporters Club, and I would love to see you at one of our games. You'd be more than welcome for a pint with all us boys. Keep up the good work. Love your podcasts. And again, if you're ever in Derby, let me know. I will. Thanks very much for that. I appreciate it. He loves it when I call all bullshit. Listen, guys, I just talk. I just sit here every week and put a mic to my face and talk and just have a bit of crack and banter with you guys and just talk about what's going on in the world. You know what I mean? And what's going on here in the UK and whatever else is going on around the world. You know, like for example, today I've brought you good news, bad news, sad news, talked about what I've been up to, things like that. So yeah, it's I just love sitting here for an hour on a Tuesday and a Thursday, just shooting the breeze and having a bit of banter. You know, I don't ask for much in life, guys. This is my therapy. I just sit here and talk to you on a Tuesday and Thursday, and everybody listens and emails me in and contacts me and asks me questions, and just I love it. I absolutely love it. It's me time. I sit and talk with you guys, and then when I'm sitting having a beer on a Thursday night, I always sit and think to myself, going, God, I wonder where all my listeners actually are coming from. And then I get all these messages from different places all around the world, and I love it. So yeah, it's great. I absolutely love this podcast so much. I just enjoy it. And the people who regularly contact me, you know, it makes my day. It cheers me up. So it does, especially when I'm having a shitty day. But anyway, let's get on. And thanks for all your messages once again this week, guys. Right, let's get on to the favourite segment. We haven't done this. It's nearly 3 weeks now since we've done this. Yeah, 3 weeks. It's been 3 weeks now. It's hard. It's crazy. So it is. Oh, here, before I do go, I forgot to mention, actually, I always remember a couple of months ago I got an email from a wee couple in England. I think they were saying they bought their first house. They actually emailed me again on Monday. I forgot to mention it in Tuesday's podcast. Young couple asked me for DIY tips, and obviously there was a couple of months ago they were saying about, you know, design which to do each room and stuff, and I just said to compromise with each other and stuff. They got back in touch with me again, and they said they're halfway through their house at the minute and they're doing very, very well. So there you go. I just came into my head there. I was just talking to it. I can't remember their names now. Their names are on the email they sent me the other day. They said they emailed me a couple of months ago, and I do remember them. They said that they what do you call it? They moved in together for the first time and all. And I for what I do remember, about 99.9% sure I said them just to compromise. You know, don't argue and fight about it and stuff. Just compromise. And as far as from what I read that last email, they're doing very well. So happy days. They haven't killed each other yet. Right, guys, let's move on here to the segment that everybody loves. The segment of I love every week as well. It's now time for the first time in 3 weeks, the Moore Army podcast Jackass of the Week segment. There he is, Boris the donkey. I haven't heard him for a while. He's been hiding because the paparazzi and all the press is doing his head in because of this whole Partygate bullshit with COVID. Boris is hiding. Well, there was a few candidates up for Jackass of the Week this week. But I even said to Brooke yesterday, I said to her, Brooke, who do you think should be Jackass of the Week out of these 4 individuals? And she went, oh, Danny, it's definitely this person. It has to be. There's no question about it. It's all over the news. People are talking about this person. People are it's all coming out now how much of a horrible wee rat person this is. Okay, well, fair enough. So the decision has been made. So this week's Moore Army podcast Jackass of the Week for this week is, can I get a drum roll, please? Thank you very much. Moore Army podcast Jackass of the Week for this week is Philip Schofield. That's it, Boris, you sing it for me. That's it. You probably know the reason why he is the Jackass of the Week this week, because of all the controversies going on. Obviously, he left ITV on Saturday or Sunday. He's been on part of the ITV morning show this morning for over 21 years because of all the recent actions and all the bullshit and all the crap that he's involved in, what he said and what he's done and all the arse shite going on at the minute. As Eamon Holmes said yesterday on GB News yesterday morning, he says, look, listen, he did not mutually left. He was fucking sacked. Here's your P45, son. Down the road. See you later. Back to the dole queue. Not that he needs to go there because he's fucking millions in the bank, no doubt. But lately, he's been losing everything. He's been part of TV adverts that he's not part of anymore. Like, for example, WeBuyAnyCar.com. I haven't seen him on that for a long time. Now he's gone from this morning. Is he going to be hosting other programs that he does do normally, like Dancing on Ice and other TV shows that he does? Is this the start of the downfall of Philip Schofield? Well, when you become an arsehole, it always catches up on you. So, yes, the Jackass of the Week for this week is former ITV This Morning TV presenter Philip Schofield. If you have any suggestions for Jackass of the Week, whether it be a celebrity, it could be a sports person, it could be a TV personality, it could be anybody, drop us an email, moorearmypodcast@yahoo.com, and also contact me on those old trusty social medias. And don't forget to check me in on TikTok, official Matthew Moore. Yes, any suggestions for Jackass of the Week, get in touch. I would appreciate it. Right, guys, I'm going to go ahead on the road here now for another week. Sorry if this podcast sounded a bit all over the place, disorganised this week. It's just the news this past 24, 48 hours hasn't been overly great. We've lost a rock legend. We've had we've had a bit of good news now, obviously, with the prices being cut for energy. So we're hopefully saving a few quid. So we'll be able to keep the lights on a bit longer in the winter. Hopefully. Right, guys, that's me. I'm going to go now and enjoy my Thursday and have a few beers tonight and chill out and whatnot. Tomorrow night, guys, I'm actually at a end of season football awards night. Lewis is actually going this year as well. He's been invited. The football club we work for in Belfast have invited us to their end of season awards night, which I did not attend last year. For a lot of personal reasons why I didn't go last year. But I'll be there this year. We're heading to Belfast tomorrow evening, which is going to be fun. We may try and get some clips for the YouTube channel. Maybe not. Don't know. There'll be something put out probably on the club's TV channel, and they'll listen to the awards and photographs and whatever else. So I'll share it on social media. But we're definitely going this week. Friday night, Lewis and I were going to be all smartly dressed and get ourselves all. We just went and got a haircut and all yesterday, so he did. So he's all ready for Friday night, so it should be fun. I'm looking forward to it. First father and son night at the awards night. I'm looking forward to it. So I am. So stay tuned for that. But anyway, guys, I hope you all have a great weekend. Enjoy your weekends, no matter what you're up to. Football season ends this weekend as well in England, so all the football comes to an end. Obviously, there's still the Champions League final and whatnot, the Europa League final and the FA Cup final still to come to as well. But the Premier League season ends this weekend, so but there's now got quite a bit on this weekend. So we're looking forward to it. So we are. But guys, thanks once again for getting in contact with me. I do appreciate it. I will spend over the time of the weekend answering as many back to you as I can. Don't forget to check out the vlogs coming up on the channel today from Belfast shopping trip yesterday, and also a one where we surprised Lewis with something nice as well. That'll be coming out later on today. I'll hopefully get that first vlog dropped within the next hour or two after this podcast goes out. But once again, guys, thanks for all your time. Thanks for taking time out of your day to listen to me here on the Moore Army podcast. Have a great weekend, and I look forward to hearing from you all over the weekend. And I will see you back here on Tuesday with more exciting news and more on the Moore Army podcast. So until Tuesday, guys, have a good weekend, and I will see you all soon. Thanks for listening.